Hello folks, I hope that you are having just a great day today. Today I want to look at H.P. Lovecraft's 1920 short story. It's very short. The Terrible Old Man, which is less than 1,200 words long. I reread it in this collection that I'm currently reviewing for you, but I've actually read it before. I have a copy of everything that Lovecraft has written, and I read it at least once. So I went back and reread it yesterday for the second time, and I wanted to review it for you. It's not his best work. I'm only giving it a 6 out of 10, but it's interesting for a few historical things. So let's go. It's the first of his short stories that are set in his fictional New England. It's set in the tiny little port of Kingsport. Our main characters are three gentlemen, and there is this old house of this old man in it who is so old that people have forgotten his name. He is rumored to be a man who was a sailor of the seas with some treasures that he got while he was from the seas that are still there with him. And our three gentlemen are interested in robbing him of his three treasures, and so they go into his room and invade it in order to try to, in his house, in order to try to find out what's happening. And of course, since this is a horror short story, bad things are going to happen to them, and they get their comeuppance, right? And then that's it. Took me less than 10 minutes for me to read it for the second time last night. And H.P. Lovecraft isn't exactly a fast reader, right? He publishes this short story in an amateur trade rather than a major place. He was very young at the time, again, just 1920. Short didn't take a very long time to read. While I was doing research for this story, I found out that not only is this a historical narrative, because it's the first one of his historical, it's the first ones of his stories that's set in New England, in his fictional New England, like for places that will become popular later on, like the Miskatonic River Valley, Miskatonic University, Innsmouth, famously in the shadow over Innsmouth, the squalid places within New England. But it's also, the person who's in it, the Terrible Old Man, will also show up in other works too, specifically The Strange Case of Charles Dexter Ward, which is a novella by Lovecraft much later in his career. So the character will show up again as well, so which I had forgotten about. So I had forgotten that connection, and was reminded of that when doing some research. Also, while researching this story, I came across a couple of interpretations that see this story as an anti-immigration polemic. The three main characters all have names, first and last names, that are younger males who are there to invade this guy's house. All have names that represent Eastern Europeans, probably people that did not have necessarily the best language skills in the world for English. And so some interviewers see this as sort of an anti-immigration. Hey, they're criminals. They're going to come and invade your house, and then bad stuff's going to happen to them. Ha ha! Look what you deserved, you dirty immigrants. And this story has that feel to it. I get where those interpretations are coming from, but I'm not sure I see it in this story. Sometimes I think it's just best to let a story be a story, right? We know that H.P. Lovecraft had a lot of the same views, people during the time of race and ethnicities, and of a lot of folks during his time. During this time were racist. And we know, and a lot of writers during the pulp era were racist. A lot of stories being written in the pulp era are racist as well. And 1920 short stories, certainly, and there are certainly places where Lovecraft is very racist, right? And I get that. But I'm not sure that this piece is it. But again, I get where you're coming from. If you see, hey, look, why did he give the last names? The last names are very Eastern Europeans. He could have just given you the first names, right? I get it. I see where that point's coming from. I understand it, but I'm not sure I agree with it. I think that there's something in this story. Now there are some other stories, but like the Horror at Red Hook, where the anti-racist connotations absolutely anti-immigrants. I'm on the same page with when it comes to some Lovecraft things, but I'm not sure that it's here. I'm not sure it's not, but I'm not sure that it is. I can see, I guess, both sides, if you will, on that point. I will link to it online for free, as well as with this collection, in case you want to buy it and read it as a part of this collection. But it's for free. All of H.P. Lovecraft stuff's for free, so I'll link you to it in the comments below. It won't take that much of your time to read it for free. Again, it's less than 1,200 words. So it's an incredibly short story. And in modern day, we would probably just call it flash fiction. But there you are. It's The Terrible Old Man. Have you read it? What did you think of it? Did you like it or dislike it? Did you agree or disagree with my take on it? I would be more than happy to engage you with it further in the comments below. If you like this video, please feel encouraged to hit that subscribe button because there's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And finally, hey, I just want to thank you for taking some time out of your day and watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, right? And we're being pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have a great day.